Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is where you are tonight. I forget what my title is. Oh yeah, TBC and free energy. What a combination. Ha, yes. TBC and free energy. What a combination. Well, there you have it. I guess we'll see you tomorrow then. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe we'll do a little bit more than just that. Okay, so this afternoon I was watching. Actually, I'm going to put this lamp on. Right. This afternoon, I was on with Bitcoin Randy. I was on Bitcoin Randy's Hangout, the voice of TBC, and they were talking about how to make use of TBC in like how to approach merchants, how to you know, get people to accept crypto TBC, not crypto, how to get people to accept Kringles for payment. Okay, how to approach people and things like that. And one of the comments that was made in that video was that just bring in you know, bring in lots of people into TBC, and then, you know, there will be people that will figure it out. And you know, I think many of the ideas were great ideas that were shared. You know, we as people, we are incredibly intelligent, and um, hi Pedro, welcome. And you know, Pedro, I'm going to share the link so you can come on if you want. Okay. There, there. If you want to come and join me, you're welcome to do so. Okay, and so they were talking about various ways to approach people, you know, and to you know, to make use, to get the coin, to get people to accept Kringles for goods and services and so on. And I think you know, those are great ideas. And I mean, we've seen already. Some people have bought vehicles. I actually bought a couple of older vehicles, and people have bought properties, and you know, we definitely know that it works. And the thing is, where we run up against is that the fact that all the tills in businesses are set up for fiat money, for the banking system. This is where we hit that brick wall. When as soon as we want to accept payment for goods and services, well, here comes that factor into play where we need to switch it to fiat. Well, you know, the idea of just bringing in a lot of people is a great idea. The only thing is that you know, people that I have talked to, their problem is that you can't use it to buy goods and services. That's their hang up. How are you going to use it? What are you going to do? I mean, uh, and this is why to me, I think we have to almost come to the conclusion that we need to take that first step and prove it to the world that we can do it. And so some of us, we might have to start a conventional business and then accept TBC as part of the payment, just to go and approach everybody on the street saying, hey, you know what, there's this great cryptocurrency. Well, I mean, you know what, some people might be very good at doing that, but at the end of the day, people are looking for something that they can use. If that makes any sense. Well, I believe it makes a lot of sense. We all would like it if we could just go and buy goods and services, especially for those of us who have quite a few coins. Well, we could easily live off of that. But the thing is, we need to prove to the world that we have a currency that is worth a lot and is usable for buying those goods and services. So guys, we need to really be creative. We need to really be creative because we want to grow this thing fast. And that is where Dan Lutz, he came up with they have this thing, and I guess it's going to be launching, I think, the 1st of June. It's going to be launching the Kringle code. So that's a nice way of showing people that it does work. We can make purchases. The thing is, what we need to also do is to do something where we do a service or business, or where we sell products or services and take at least partial payment in TBC, so that we can see, that people can see the ball is starting to roll. You know what I'm saying, right? So the thing is, I think that that if a lot of us would take on that type of a challenge, where we do some sort of a service or we sell some sort of a product, even if we have to buy it in fiat, and then take partial TBC for it as payment, so that we get more people aware of how to do it, especially people who already have a business, to get them, to then we can discuss how we do it and how that works, and that way we can get more people into actually using it in transactions, because that's where people get stuck. That is where one of my brother-in-laws, great guy, but I tell you, he sees the value in it, as far as what TBC is and so on, but he won't touch it because he can't fill up his truck with it. He can't, you know what I'm saying? So he won't touch it because it's not it's not accepted in the marketplace as money. But there was another thing that I was thinking of, and I believe that we have people within our TBC community that would be able to do this. And of course, to me, as far as I'm concerned, it's just an idea, but I think that it is an idea that would work really well. And that is to create a decentralized uh, trading platform. There are, I think, well, I know there's a few of them already that are decentralized trading platforms, which being decentralized, they are not, they don't have a central control on them. But here's what I was thinking. If we had a decentralized trading platform where we could trade TBC with other cryptocurrencies, and then we can, through that, we can turn it into fiat as long as we need to do this. But have that platform programmed to the equivalent of the coin so that it's impossible to undersell it. Does that make sense? Please type yes in the chat if that makes sense to you, because that is one of the things that I was thinking about. That I think we would make it much easier for many people to if we would provide that kind of a thing. So it would the TBC price would always be synced with this uh, uh, with this exchange, so that whenever somebody wanted to buy Bitcoin for TBC or Dash for TBC, the system would not allow it to be discounted because it would be synced with the price, and you can't change that. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it seems like if we had that type of a service, then that would make it viable much more for people to be able to, you know, I mean, uh, what we're facing is that people want to be able to use it. End of story. As we can try to tell them, look, you don't need to. You don't need to just hang on because it keeps accumulating. It's getting worth more. But that's not how they think. That's not how they think. And then what they do is they go and they post on Facebook and whatever social media, and telling them that you can't get rid of it, you can't sell it, you can't do anything, right? So I'm thinking that it would probably be in our favor if we had a platform like that to be used. And of course, the coin would never be discounted because the price would always be locked. Um, a long name. Uh, Hi, Sharon. Thank you for joining me. My name isn't. I didn't think it was a very long, but it is very hard because after all, it is harder than anybody else's, I think. Anyway, so so that was one of the things that I was thinking about, and maybe eventually maybe I should run it past Dan Lutz or Crypto, the voice of TBC or something, and see what those guys think about that. Because to me, it seems that it would be in our favor if something like that was created, right? Okay, I know I tried to change it and it wouldn't let me. What, you tried to change my name? Or what did you want to change? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay, it was somebody else that had a long name, not me. I thought they meant me. Okay, so now after all that, the thing that I have set up where we will uh, start using cryptocurrencies, and I'm in a way kind of excited about this too, because one of my brothers has been working for years now with creating a free energy generator unit. Now, what he's actually making is he's making the motor. He's making a free energy motor uh, that will run a generator. So, in a sense, it's still free energy, but it's not quite as good as what I really wanted. But he's so convinced that it's so hard to make that other unit that he'd rather just go with making these units. And I suppose if it's still free energy and still it generates it and works good and everything, that could be good still. And I'm almost thinking that that may be a way to start, because he says that these units are so much easier and so much cheaper to make. And so I'm beginning to think, for a starter, well, maybe that would be the right way to go. I don't know. Anyways, so the idea that we have here is that we can create energy for free, uh, and then sell the units partially in TBC. Take a partial payment in TBC, and the rest in fiat, so that the business quickly becomes self-sufficient. And then, of course, as TBC reaches more adaptability, then we can slowly switch over to TBC completely, with selling these units, right? So that is one of the ways that I think we can definitely move ahead in spread the TBC, while we're also doing another very good thing at the same time. Uh, providing energy that generates for free for people, so they don't have to always have a monthly bill, or especially in the areas in the world where people don't even have, uh, where they don't even have electricity, to use. So that would be a huge advantage. And of course, in some areas, TBC is already at a point where it's practically, uh, well, I don't know, because in Nigeria we have well over 1 million people, and so there is a place where people do buy and sell TBC in what's the city called again? Um, I forget the name of the city where they do exchange. Now, of course, it's just people. It's people doing. It's not like they have an ATM machine or anything like that. But people do. They run sort of like a program where people can buy, uh, but then somebody that buys TBC, they can make the payment, and then once the payment is verified and everything, that's when they personally send them the TBC coin or the Kringles, right? So I mean, really, any one of us could do that. It's really the same thing as what this Kringle code that Dan Lutz is coming up with. I think it's the same thing, or pretty much running the same way anyways. But so what I was yeah, free energy, and TBC is what we want to spread. Mainly TBC is what we really want to spread. But if we incorporate something where we can take part payment and pay people in TBC partially, and that kind of a thing, where the entire business has sort of TBC as part of the business, then I think we're kind of showing people more, how we can actually use it. That we can partially use it, and then eventually we'll be switching over, right? Because TBC will eventually take off enough that we can just use TBC. But folks, it is high time that we find other ways than using fiat money. Now, of course, the good thing that we are seeing is that many countries are switching away from fiat, from the central banking system, and that's a wonderful thing. That is just that's the greatest thing right now, is people turning away from the central banking system. There's nothing hardly that, I was just thinking here, it used to, when I was a kid, and we would, we didn't hang up socks on the wall or on somewhere for Santa to bring us something. We would each set a bowl on the table, and we would, and then we would go to sleep, and we were just hoping, that Santa would come and put something in there, And in the morning, of course, we would wake up quite a bit earlier than usual, and we would, oh man, I can hardly, tell you how happy we were when that bowl, it was sometimes so full you couldn't even see the bowl, because there was, sometimes we had shoes, we had pants, we had shirts, and we had lots of, food, we had toys, we had, it was just, and now seeing countries move away from the central banking system, I think that brings me more joy than that ever did. I'm not sure, but I think it's definitely up there. Just because it is high time that those banking cartel, that they are, that we stop supporting them. It's very high time. And by that I mean just completely. I wish every country would just completely stop supporting their system, which in Canada we definitely aren't yet. And I'm really hoping that in a few months after that movie comes out, that people will, really wake up, and that we can move away from that crap. So anyhow, that there is the idea I have about all that. So here we are. I believe there is nobody richer than some of us TBC people. Bill Gates, he thinks he's very rich, but not like us. Not like us. The thing is, with the wealth that is aboard TBC, when we change when we change where we can freely use TBC, we will be changing the world so fast that it's going to be amazing to see. I mean, you give it just a few years and you'll see TBC in action. I mean, uh, I get excited when I think about that, about all the things, the wonderful things that we're going to be doing as TBC holders. And of course, there is already another abundance coin that is in the works. And so, many people who don't have as much TBC, they will hopefully get a lot of that. They, unfortunately, usually the same people end up getting into the new one first again. For some reason, the same people seem to be uh, drawn to the cutting edge of something new again sooner than everybody else. Is that just me, or you think that there is some truth to that? Because I think that is that is basically how it works. Those of us who, and of course, I wasn't in TBC from the beginning. It was already I think it was already more than a year old when I even found out about TBC. I hadn't seen anything of TBC until I typed that in YouTube. Was actually sort of by accident uh, because I thought I typed in a combination that I had seen on Yobit, and apparently it was never on Yobit. So it was totally by accident that I came across it. But when I did, and I saw I saw the presentation. I don't know if I really saw the presentation or what was it, a testimonial? I forget now what the first video was that I saw. But as soon as I got a glimpse of what it was, I looked for more videos. I found the presentation, and I was totally sold. I said, "Man, this is it, man. This is the coin. I got to be part of this." You know. And so that's what I did. And uh, hey, I think that's the best thing I've ever done. That's the best financial decision I've ever made. Even though it is challenging at times. I mean, you wanna you tell people how great a currency it is, a great money, and and yeah, well, if I can't use it for goods and services, then what good does it do me, right? So we have to, it takes keeping up the courage and obviously now finding ways to use it, right? Well, thank you very much, Sharon, for hanging out with me. And you have a wonderful evening, okay, a wonderful night, and so we'll hopefully see you again tomorrow or whenever it suits you. That'd be great. All right. I think it's pretty much time for me to close off again. I got to get back on the phone with my brother. I had to kind of cut our call short because I wanted to come on here. I had to come and do my show. So now I'm going to be back on the phone with him to see if they're, what we're going to figure out. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it very much. And I look forward to hanging out with you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow it'll be Friday. So on Saturday, I'm going to book it for in the morning sometime. So on Saturday, I won't be here in the evening. It'll be in the morning. Okay. So have a good night, everyone. You have a wonderful day or whatever it is where you are. And we'll see you again. Peace.